I think living in Norfolk now, the sort of lifestyle, people you meet and can sort of inspire, and I think that does feed into my music, yeah. I think it's in Portugal, they have this thing called saudade, which is like nostalgia for something that you're not even sure what it is, you know, it's just this thing which is something I relate to. I always try and get synths to sound different to how they're supposed to sound. I mean, that's always been my sort of motivation. I mean, it might not even be a synth, it might just be like a little Casio keyboard. Take a sound from that and just sort of like take it out of context. With music that is mostly instrumental, people will sort of apply their own emotions and images to it, which is, yeah, it's great. I really like writing stuff that's quite sort of euphoric, really, but also quite sad, but can also be sort of invigorating at the same time. I like stuff that sounds raw and quite sort of spiky. I just like to generate a kind of like a rush. I was approached to make the Labs pack, and I just wanted to make something based around the kind of synth sounds that I use a lot. That's kind of like my signature sounds, really. Quite chimey kind of pad sounds and other sort of long string sounds and bass sounds. Basically the kind of sounds that I always use in my tracks for the last 10 years or so, probably. My creative process, it kind of hasn't changed in the sense that I'm still using quite old software now still, and the same stuff that I used when I started off. It's an old Windows laptop that's got like Cubase VST5 on it, which I've used since that came out, really, which is, I think, sort of like 1999. So Hypercube, I basically wanted to put together a little demo of the kind of sounds that I was going to put in the pack. Basically, something with a prominent kind of melody and then a softer kind of lead sound and bass. I ended up sending it to Leo at Spitfire, and they were really happy with it. So yeah, and it ended up being like this idea for a single.